Hey, what's going on? It's Walt with One Fall WrestleCast. Man, we got a good show lined up for you today. As soon as we get Derek, he's running a little bit late. Um, we're gonna talk about the AEW video game and the Ukes relationship. That thought it'd be interesting to get these two fine gentlemen's opinion on that. Alexa Bliss made her return. CM Punk and Eric Bischoff trade shots via podcast and Twitter. And Sonny is in the doghouse again. We're going to talk about that plus WrestleMania Backlash. Perhaps could be considered the most underrated show of the year. We're going to hop after it. Here we go.
Welcome to the One Fall WrestleCast.
Hey, what's up, bud?
I just had soccer practice with the kids, and you know how like when you're like not super sweaty when you get back, and then like you start to cool off a little bit, and then you become sticky.
Yeah.
I'm feeling sticky, but otherwise I'm in good shape. Had a good. It's my fault that we're late this week. I'll just come out and admit it. My wife surprised me with an early Father's Day gift and was like, "Hey, remember how you said you were going to go to Megadeth, but you didn't really want to get the tickets and go and blah blah blah." She's like, "I bought you a ticket. Happy Father's Day." And I went, "Ah!" So my wife sent me to Megadeth, and it was great. It was a true night of dad metal because it was In Flames, Trivium, Lamb of God, and Megadeth.
That was the show that we talked about going to. Son of a
yeah,
bitch. Forgetful ass.
Well, I forgot not that I forgot. I was just like because like everybody needed money, right? Like it was like my sister had a baby shower, all kind of like stuff was going on. We just went to AEW.
Right.
And I'm like, I don't need to spend another $75 and rile people up to go to this thing and all this other and it's like I could just it was too much. And I said that, I admitted to my wife that I needed to be fiscally responsible. And then she goes, "Well, happy Father's Day." So I went and she surprised me on Mother's Day with it. So it was tremendous. It was so good. It was, all the first three bands were like In Flames, Trivium, and Lamb of God. I was super into in college because that was like sort of their like, not their pinnacle, because I'd say they're all still pretty much at their pinnacle, but that was really their like when we were in college, they were busting out big with big releases and stuff,
Absolutely.
And then I've been a Megadeth fan since we were 10, 11, something like that. I don't know, whenever we were old enough to stay up and watch Headbangers Ball.
I think one of the very first travel soccer practices that we showed up to, you were wearing a Megadeth t-shirt. So yeah,
that makes sense. Yeah, that makes sense.
Been quite a long time because I remember, like the one that's got the Megadeth real big across it and all the flames and shit.
Yeah.
Like and every Megadeth t-shirt ever,
like every Megadeth t-shirt ever. Yeah, with Vic Rattlehead on it. Yeah, for sure. And then, but I certainly had my little gray Walkman with the Megadeth CD that skipped like a motherfucker because I took it on every trip. Because it played on loop on every trip. So, we all heard Peace Sells way too many times.
So not to flip the script here, but I noticed that your little tagline name today is Walk with Elias. Bro, how great is that storyline?
It's 100 times better than it deserves to be.
Absolutely. It's 100 times better than it deserves to be.
So this is one of those things that like I feel like if you would have explained this to me on paper and said, "Oh, Elias is gonna come back as Elias's younger brother Ezekiel," I would have said to you, "This is the stupidest thing I've ever heard in my entire life." And there's no way that would get over. That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my life.
Oh, it was so dumb. When he finally emerged for the first time since, what's it been? It's got to be July, SummerSlam, August. Like,
It may have even been longer than that. He may have been off TV for something.
and then they
like
did
18
they
months.
did the Elias is dead vignettes, and then those just kind of stopped. And it's like, yo, what are they gonna do with Elias? And then you hear, then he gets released as this generic like character in the WWE game. He has no gimmick, and then he shows up that way, and he's like, yeah, I'm Ezekiel. I'm Elias's younger brother. It's like, bro, what the fuck are they doing? What are they doing? What? Why? Ezekiel, why? Elias was perfect.
This is so good. Like, I don't know how long they're going to get away with this being this good, because I don't know how long of legs this has.
Well, to me, it just depends on how long Kevin Owens stays interested.
Right. Yeah. That's probably true. Because they did Ken Owens this week, which I thought, I mean, this is it's that callback of wrestling, of like that Attitude Era stuff that was like, man, this is so stupid, but it's not in like the main event picture. It's clearly just meant to be like, we're all in on the joke, right? It's the same Tom, guy, but we're supposed to joke about it. What?
Tom, I wanted to tell you. All right, so we have a special guest on the show today. Surprise special guest.
Oh,
please welcome to the One Fall WrestleCast.
Oh my God!
Hello. Hello, everybody. Derek Housen here.
I love it.
Cousin and close relative of Dan Housen.
Well, Derek Housen, thanks for joining the show. It's funny that you bring that up, that you're a close cousin relative to Danhausen. We're actually talking about the Elias and Ezekiel story that's taking place in WWE right now. Would you like to weigh in on that?
Yeah, I feel like everybody should just believe who you are. I am who I am. I am cousin of Danhausen. We have the same mannerisms. I curse. There's no swears. I don't have blimp. Working on that still.
Bags of money.
You have bags. Piles.
You have a jar of teeth.
I have to ask, do you carry a jar of teeth? No, you look like you carry a jar of dicks. That's what you look like.
Curse on you.
No swears. You broke Danhausen's first rule. No swears. Where's Davis?
Soon I will carry jar of tongues for you. You who defy me. Hi, guys.
Derek, that's awesome. That's the best. That is the best. That's the best thing I've ever seen in my life.
I gotta take this jacket off. It's way too hot in my house. But yeah,
that's the best thing I've ever seen in my life.
Bro, when I saw you, I popped immediately. Because when you popped up down on the bottom, I popped immediately.
I don't even know what to say. Guys. You see, and I even knew you were gonna do this at some point. And I was still like, you're watching hockey. I'm like, how do I see hockey in your anyway?
Yeah. It's gotta happen.
Yeah.
Yes. Curse the Rangers.
Cursed. You must have cursed them. Cursed Rangers.
The Turkey Housen. Shesterkin.
Unbelievable.
I don't know if I could recover from this. I don't know. This is Derek, that's everything I ever wanted that to be and more. I have to say, you've truly made my night, my friend. You've truly made my night. And I'm gonna wake up and think about it later tomorrow, and I'm gonna snicker about it, and it's gonna be good. It's a good time.
Yeah.
This is a genuine
my
smile.
Coworkers and family.
Nice.
Unbelievable. That's awesome. So, Derek, seriously though, we were talking about Elias and Ezekiel and how good that storyline is, and it shouldn't be. Do you have any thoughts on that?
Without knowing what you guys have already said, I tell you what's making that story happen is Kevin Owens' believability throughout the whole thing,
That's what Walt
and
said.
him selling this story. So yeah, great
Right.
storyline. I'm digging it for sure. Uh, Great wrestler. I'm glad to have him back. He looks fantastic. I mean, God, the guy looks like $1,000,000.
Yes,
And
he's wrestling
you know,
great too. That's the other thing. It
yeah,
seems like his wrestling. He's changed up his moveset a little bit to be a little more 90s
Yeah.
gimmick wrestling, and
Yeah, a
it's
little more like 90s, like white meat baby face, like,
yeah,
yeah, baby.
yeah,
some
he's
hip
very white meat baby face right now.
some
It's
hip
fun.
tosses, some big backdrops.
Yeah, he does. He
It-
looks like $1,000,000 out.
It looks great. They're great. He dropped an elbow, big Randy Savage elbow. It's man, it was yeah. I don't know if it's as good as your get up here, but it's man. I have a hard time looking at you.
Like he's keeping the stupid smile, and it's really starting to creep me out.
I think that's the point.
I'd like to point out that I get my teeth cleaned on Monday, so please disregard the yellow teeth.
Hey, so I'm glad that you're here, bud, because we've got a couple of the really Derek heavy topics this week, and I'm really interested to
Housen.
hear you weigh in.
Housen.
On this.
Derek Housen, yes.
Derek Housen.
So I think we're going to go ahead and we're going to just not get into you yet. So, Monday Night Raw, did you happen to watch Monday Night Raw, like from 2 days ago, Monday Night Raw? Yeah, Derek Housen.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah. So then you saw that Alexa Bliss returned to action.
I might have.
Love it.
Came back as a white meat babyface.
No,
with the
no,
doll.
she's like a
She's no
like
man.
middle
She's
of the road
goddess.
between her
She's
two
the goddess
gimmicks.
again. Her entire entrance was goddess. She was interacting with the fans. She was pointing and smiling and waving. She had Lily. That was the only thing.
I kind of thought what he thought too. If she came out smiling, but she didn't. Did she come out? Now that I think about it, I don't remember what music because I just watched the clip.
But she did come out to the goddess music, but it was very heavily remixed with some metal and some darker tones behind it. So and the video package on the giant LED screen was very much that of a tweener Alexa Bliss between her two gimmicks.
And that's fine. Truthfully, my favorite Alexa Bliss was still the like Mean Girls Alexa Bliss, although apparently in real life she couldn't be a sweeter person. Like she apparently is the according to literally every human that's ever come in contact with her, she's the sweetest person you've ever met in your life. So her Mean Girls gimmick was being so believable. Was wow, he's just gonna hold that while I talk. I need to look at myself, not him. That being believable was apparently such a feat, which is why it held on for years and years, because it was just like everybody that knew her was like, you are the nicest person ever, stop it. And then she would get out there and just be horrible. Yeah. And it was like, this is it worked so well. But I'm really, I could not be happier to see her back. She's legitimately, male or female, one of my favorites, like period. Like get her back, put a mic in her hands, let her talk, let her wrestle. Let's see full-time Alexa Bliss again, because that's what I'm here for, because that's what we need. We have another, not to mention just Alexa, if we're done talking about her, Lacey Evans is now also immediately back on Raw, apparently as a heel now. After
all of that craziness that they did over on SmackDown with
after
like trying to run her as a babyface.
They must have just been like, nah, this ain't gonna work. You're back on Raw and you're a heel. And she was like, all right.
I mean, I think honestly, I think that she very much has the persona of a natural heel, right? And like
I think it's a better call. When I first saw that, I was like, yeah, good call. That's actually gonna work better than whatever they were gonna try to force. I like that they're not trying to force. It feels like they've learned their lesson in forcing babyface characters. Maybe not learned their lesson, but they've dialed back on it. And if it seems like somebody's not getting over as a babyface, it's like, fine, go be a jerk. You're good at that. Get out of here.
And I mean, I agree with your take on it, right? They look at it and they're like, yeah, I don't think this is going to work. Yeah. But then, Derek, you see the internet eats this up because WWE doesn't know what they're doing with their creative process.
Well, I mean, guys, seriously, if she would have came out, let's say she came out as straight up, baby faces could be, no Lily, anything like that. You've got to
Not
have
Alexa.
some
Lacey Evans. Sorry,
Oh,
we jumped
my bad.
humans.
It was my wife came in for a second there. Pardon
We
me.
jumped humans. It's cool. We jumped humans.
Lacey Evans coming back as a babyface. That's fine. I mean, she went away. She had some time.
So all right. So what happened? What had happened was, so she came back as a babyface on SmackDown, right? And they ran all those vignettes on SmackDown. But now apparently she's going to be a heel on Raw. So they stealth switched her. Now she's on Raw because all that stuff was on SmackDown. Now she's on Raw and she's a heel.
Well, what the fuck is going on there?
Well, they didn't think the babyface gimmick worked. I don't think it was going to work.
And
well, you know what didn't work is whenever they had her with creepy ass Ric Flair, and you're trying to get that over. You sent her off of TV as a sugar mama, sugar baby, I should say, a sugar baby. And
if you remember, in kayfabe, that was Ric Flair's baby.
Yeah, when she announced she was pregnant, and he started like celebrating and shit. He's like,
kayfabe, that was his baby.
Oh, you want some Vince Russo retro creative? That's it right there.
She must have been a flight attendant on the plane.
Whoo, man! That was that long ago now? Good God!
Yeah, well,
you got a memory like an elephant.
Yeah, that's her baby, or that's her.
Is that a fat joke?
No, that's a brilliance joke. You're brilliant.
Are you sure?
Elephants aren't fat.
They're large.
Well,
they're big boned.
I don't see the point. I don't see what you're getting at.
Do you want me to curse him? You want me curse?
Aren't you just a human that's bigger than me?
Go on. Hey, there's a child.
Hey,
hi, buddy.
Hey, friend of the show. He's got a dinosaur.
Dinosaur. Wow.
Rawr.
Love it.
You guys go ahead. I'm gonna hang out with my kid for a minute.
You're gonna hang out with your mini me? Okay, that's fine. He looks just like you. Now I don't know what to say. All right. What were we saying? Oh, Lacey Evans. Yeah. So now she's gonna be a heel on Raw. When what we were saying is that she just seems to be a natural heel, right? Like she's not the babyface promos were like, I don't know about you. And maybe they were getting over, maybe they weren't. I don't feel like they were gonna. I feel like as Vince McMahon probably watched them and went, yeah, this isn't gonna work, but I still really like her. So like put her in a low cut shirt. Now she's a heel. Put her on Raw. That'll work. And you know what? I think it's gonna work. If I'm being honest, I think it's probably gonna work.
Yeah, it's gonna work. To be like you were saying though, her natural cadence, I guess you could say, and the way she delivers things though does seriously come across as more heel. Her pacing, her attitude.
It seemed a little. It seemed for her to bring up like abuse and backstory, like it seemed a little forced, even if it's true. And I mean, I'm sure it's true because truthfully, she's a veteran. She's seemingly very well liked in the locker room. They really like her. They really want her to like. They really want to push her. They think she's one of the next really important things. Like she's got the look they're going for. She's tall. She's strong. You know, her moveset's good.
No, mommy.
I love you. Go get mom. Here's your dinosaur.
Yeah, great all around. Great all around. But I don't know, man. She's very, very similar to Charlotte, of course, in looks. How many stacked blondes are we gonna have?
So let's talk about Charlotte. Let's talk about Charlotte then too. We can move on to Charlotte because Charlotte now is taking in after the, and we have to talk about. We'll probably talk about that here in a moment. We have to talk about WrestleMania Backlash, but Charlotte apparently after having her match with Ronda Rousey, Charlotte's arm is apparently now kayfabe broken. Now, the dirt sheets would now come out and tell you, now she's going on to get married. She's going on a honeymoon. And this was the perfect way to write her off TV. And truth be told, at first when that match happened and that was the finish, I was like, oh, of course they put it on Ronda, blah, blah, blah. And then they say, oh, well, Charlotte's arm's broken. And then once I slept on it and thought about it, I was like, no, this is perfect because now, one, Ronda's a star, whether she's over with us or not. It doesn't matter. She's a star. She brings eyeballs to that division. She has not yet been the women's champion on SmackDown. She was the Raw Women's Champion when Raw was the main show before it was on Fox.
Yeah, and she also brought the value of that title down, in my opinion.
Well, until Becky brought it back up. So look, they need. So here's the other thing. After I thought about it too, is Ronda obviously wants to be a babyface. She was a babyface through that whole Charlotte Flair thing. Charlotte healed it up really good. They can throw whomever they want at her between now and they might throw Natty at her. I feel like that was a thing we never got in our first run. And then Bayley should be back soon. Allegedly, she's still in rehab.
Teasing it an awful lot.
She has been. She's still rehabbing. Apparently, she thought she was going to be ready, and then she wasn't quite ready. And so there's a little bit of I saw it too. I'm trying to ignore it so I don't so I don't step over my own words. But I think Ronda versus Bayley is something I really want to see, and it's not something we saw last time. So that will be. I think that's got a ton of legs, particularly. So if we want to get if they do something like they let it be Ronda versus Natty, even do Ronda, have a little feud Ronda versus Shayna. I think that would be great too. I mean,
I think I'd be more into that, but they've been showing them recently training together.
Right. That's why I don't think they'll do it. But I mean, I think to just, maybe for put it on a pay-per-view, maybe have it be a quick little Shayna betrays her, something, just because they could really work a good month-long angle, have a little pay-per-view event, especially if Bayley's not ready yet. There's some bullets in the chamber to have Ronda have some decent feuds where the other wrestler could carry the feud in a way where it could still get Ronda over in the way that it needs to.
Yeah, but I don't think that anybody's really going to be able to do that other than Bayley.
Bayley will be. I think Bayley will be at SummerSlam. I think by then she should be back, and I do think that's if Ronda sticks around for a whole year, I do think Bayley versus Ronda at SummerSlam is the thing, right?
Yeah,
I think that's the thing.
It's got to be, but at that point though, too, maybe it's not. Maybe it's the Money in the Bank because that's a stadium show also. You know what I'm saying? And we've got to start looking at things, as far as WWE's concerned at, maybe they're going to start getting back to the people that draw these things, especially trying to go to the stadium show, right? Because I know that whenever this became a thing, I had asked the question, does this devalue WrestleMania? And the general consensus amongst the group is no. I still think that that's yet to be seen because this is supposed to be this giant, overblown thing. And now we're going to do it 5 out of 12 months.
Well, and on top of that too, let's remember WrestleMania is 2 nights. So WrestleMania is a giant overblown weekend. I feel like everything has just gotten bigger. And I think that's really what WWE wants is they want this all to be bigger. And that's why, as much as I like to watch AEW, especially the big spectacle type shows, the big spectacle type things, they just don't have they don't, as good as Double or Nothing can be, it's not WrestleMania. It's not the same. It's just not the same. You know what I mean? They can have, 5-star match here, whatever. It's just not the same. It's not, the spectacle's not the same. And, it is what it is, which I hate to say because it's such a nothing throwaway, but it's just the way of things right now. It's not the same level. It's a different level.
That's kind of what I'm saying though. It's maybe now they're going to start having to rely on these characters inside of their production have bigger name identity than they've had in the past because they're going to have to look at the business model of the UFC, right? If you were to see something, the UFC, Conor McGregor, everybody's watching Conor McGregor.
Yeah.
Lose or draw. Nate Diaz, everybody's watching that because they want to see that build up, right? And that's how they make their money off of their pay-per-views in the UFC, right? So WWE has been this business for a while where it's just, hey, we're just going off of our brand. And you hear the old timers talk about it all the time, how, who's bringing the house, right? Like Stone Cold talks about it at nauseum, because he's the guy that was making that was, his name was on the marquee and people were buying tickets to see him. Are we circling back is what I'm asking. These superstars inside the WWE organization actually have more cachet, so to speak, because they're going to be the ones drawing the house. Derek, you look like you're disagreeing with me. Like,
so before you talk, I think that's certainly the want. I think for a long time WWE tried to make it so that the brand was bigger than the superstar, whereas the superstar has sort of always been bigger than they're superstars, right? They're not wrestlers. They're not roster members. They're superstars.
They're superstar wrestlers, baby.
Anyway,
that's Cody's new thing. In case nobody caught.
I've caught it a few times, but anyway. So I think the key is to have those. You need to have those guys. You need those guys. You need the guys to step up and be, because Vince always had those guys too. Regardless of how much he wanted it to be not about the brand. He was not above calling Goldberg, calling Sting, calling Brock Lesnar, calling back Stone Cold for this WrestleMania, trying to get The Rock on pay-per-views, John Cena, guys who were the guys. I mean, they've still got Randy Orton, thank God, but it's that level of just like super duper star who is over. They've got Roman Reigns now; he's that guy.
Yeah, but now there's all this stuff going on with Roman Reigns. That he's signed a new contract that's going to have him see lesser dates.
Well, he's going to see. He's got a Brock Lesnar-esque contract where he's still going to be on TV. He's
so
going
this
to be
dude,
way less.
This dude gets his shit over and does exactly what he told us he would never do.
Well, he's going to do less house shows, but
I mean,
he'll still be on TV for the time being. I don't know. I mean, it's I think it's inevitable for guys like Roman. Truth be told, you can talk a big game, but it's inevitable. And somebody will say the same thing to him that he said to John Cena when that happened, and John Cena had to pass the torch to him.
All I'm saying is I don't see Seth Rollins going out there and entertaining different things, but everybody just wants to seem to forget that he exists. You know what I mean? Like,
Not me. So let's talk. I'm glad you brought Seth up. Let's talk about Seth real quick. So I think Seth is and has been being poised to be the guy, as in the sense that he's already been over as hell as a babyface when he was the Beast Slayer. I don't know about you guys, and I don't know if you remember, but that was the biggest buildup and the biggest pop at WrestleMania when he beat Brock. That was one of the biggest things. That was to this day. And I mean, we had a pandemic right after that.
Yeah.
So it was hard to see that star just sort of go, oh God, everybody's dying. Like, what's going on? It was that, right? But Seth is also that caliber of guy. I absolutely see Seth Rollins as sort of a Triple H or Undertaker type of guy. Is he Hulk Hogan? No. Is he The Rock or Stone Cold? No. Could he be in the same light as a guy like The Undertaker, like Kane? Guys who just were company guys, Triple H, guys who were company guys who just got over, stayed over, and maintained, were the guy you could always, a guy who could win the title on any night, and it would be absolutely believable. There was not a single day in The Undertaker's career where he could not become the WWE champion, and everybody would go, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Right?
Yeah.
Seth Rollins is that.
I can't disagree with your assessment of this. Derek, what about you, dude? Like, like all this shit going around, right? And Roman Reigns taking a lighter schedule, and what do you make of it?
I mean, you can't be mad at the guy. He's going to take a lighter schedule.
I absolutely can be mad at the guy.
No.
Yeah, I mean, you could be mad at him if you want to be, but it's, it is what it is.
It's obvious that they're trying to make some room for Cody. Some Cody segments going down. They're going to make Cody a top star. He's going to feud with Seth for a bit. Obviously, he's already got something going on with Theory. I'd like to point out that I absolutely hate the fact that they dropped the Austin Theory part of it.
They didn't want to confuse people at WrestleMania because there was that main event where they were all around together, and it was like Steve Austin, Austin Theory. I don't understand.
Yeah, but then they made the decision 3 weeks after WrestleMania.
It's ridiculous. And his intro video still shows like A-bomb and things like that. Like, where's the A? If I'm coming in cold, I just know him as Theory. Like, oh, you're the A-bomb? Yeah, it doesn't make sense. Anyway, Theory's going to be a freaking star.
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Not a doubt in my mind. Just like the FTW champion over in AEW, Ricky Starks.
Ricky Starks.
He's a star.
He's a
He's gonna be
star.
star.
He's going to be a star.
Though I do look for him to lose his belt this week.
Tonight. It's on right now.
Tonight. Yeah.
Hot damn
But,
tonight.
yeah,
What a night, baby. The Pens could be going on tonight. Wrestling's
I
going
gotta
on
tell you
tonight.
guys right now, if we lose this game while I'm on the podcast with you, we can never podcast again together while the game's on. Only during playoffs. It's very superstitious of me. But otherwise, I curse.
Very superstitious.
The Rangers. Yes.
The writing's on the wall.
Hey, so I'm glad that you guys brought up AEW. By the way, that is a phenomenal song, Tom. It's probably one of my favorite songs of all time. Like, I just the funky little beat.
So Megadeth covered I Ain't Superstitious, which is not the same song, but that's what I had in my head. So we're talking about Santana now, Superstitious. Stevie Wonder.
Stevie Wonder, yeah.
Very superstitious. Anyway, I almost typed Stevie Wonder and I'm trying to get the AT&T Sports app. Anyway.
Hey, so Derek, buddy, pal, friend, got a couple that are coming your way.
Derek Hazen. Oh yeah, let's talk about them. Yeah, let's talk about it.
So I'm gonna pump the brakes on Tom real quick because I have a feeling I know how the second half of this is going to go. So I'm gonna just push it. Okay. CM Punk and Eric Bischoff been trading some shots the last couple of weeks here, bud. Two people that you seem to have very, very high respect and regard for within the wrestling business. Interesting. Bischoff has taken every opportunity to downplay CM Punk's return to wrestling on his podcast 83 Weeks. And you're sitting there and you're making that maybe so, maybe not, depends on how you look at it. You know that I'm right because we listen to the same fucking show. Anyways, Punk has been relatively quiet about it until recently. And he kind of took a shot at Mr. Bischoff. I don't know why.
Not just a shot. That was like a, that was a bomb.
It was a bomb. It was a pipe bomb, so to speak. So
yeah,
I don't have it right in front of me, but I'm gonna break it down. So Punk said something along the lines of calling Eric Bischoff a dipshit, carny piece of shit. Who can
I don't know about the last part, the dipshit thing.
Die alone in the dark in his egotistical podcast.
Wait, was that a quote?
Yes, the dipshit Carney did actually. Yes, that
is that a direct quote?
I mean, it's pretty close to the direct quote.
Very.
Dipshit Carney.
So let's put some context around it. The reason this was said was because Bischoff was discussing the television deal of AEW and their current numbers and the ratings and their pool of advertisers and all that. And he was making a point by saying, instead of catering to the 100 hardcore fans that they have coming into the arena every week, you need to start expanding to a more
10,
general
000.
audience.
Yeah.
Well,
right,
he was using,
he was using
1,000.
He was using 1,000 as the number, as the example for stupid people math.
Yeah. And then you've got 9,000 over here that you could be reaching, but it's a hardcore, more of a hardcore promotion than WWE, where they're going to explain everything in AEW, when Danhausen came out and premiered, did we really know a lot about it? No.
I did.
Of course we did.
I already own the T-shirt.
I mean, we're sitting here saying that Malachi Black came from Double Door, Germany, and he saw him back in, Excalibur saw him back in the day. It's not a very good intro to this whole thing. How am I supposed to relate to this person and understand? Only looking, though, from a television or business side of it.
The worst part is he's fucking dead serious, Mom.
I know. Not only is he dead serious, he's on the money. He hit the nail on the head, and not only he hit the nail on the head, he hit the nail on the head with a callback to one of the funniest things he ever fucking said in his life. And Derek, tonight you are the MVP, sir. I owe you a beer the next time I see you, sir. I love you. I love you with every fiber of my heart because you make my heart jump with joy and love. Anyway, no, but Derek's 100% right. And in his assessment of what Mr. Bischoff had to say about it. And I do think that CM Punk got a little butthurt about it because CM Punk has always been he's been the hardcore fans guy, right? Even when he was in WWE, right? He's dropping the pipe bomb. He was the fan. He was the man of the hardcore fans, and that was great, right? That was great, and it was a great. That also was a great gimmick, but it was a great gimmick within the context of the huge bubble that is, sports entertainment. Because while we had CM Punk, who else did we have? Call on me. The Rock was around. John Cena was around. Triple H was around, and a big time player, Randy Orton, because Randy Orton's been around since the dawn of time. Mick Foley was there Mick Foley's been there for a little bit. Who else was around? We saw Stone Cold a little bit.
There was still a lot of people around.
There were people around. There were people tuning in to WWE for people other than CM Punk. Were people tuning in to see CM Punk? And was CM Punk a big deal? Yes. However, when there was a CM Punk and a Rock segment, was the Rock not the bigger deal? When there was a CM Punk and a John Cena segment, was that not the bigger deal? When CM Punk fought John Cena, was John Cena not the bigger deal?
Yeah, but see, this is what you're saying.
Well, one thing really, really quick, please. Okay, so also, if you look at it from the business side of things, when CM Punk debuted and we hyped it up for a week, maybe even 2 weeks, maybe even 3 weeks, did we not have the biggest numbers we've ever had on Dynamite? I'll admit
they did.
Absolutely, we freaking did.
They did.
Absolutely. They did. Have they gone downhill, though, since then and kind of plateaued? Because we have nothing that even rivals that type of debut.
800 or 900K. Yes. I mean, they were pushing 1 million prior to that, but it was 800 or 900K. Although, when Adam Cole is a marquee match, I will point this out. When Adam Cole's a marquee match and has had some kind of big interaction the week before, the rating does tend to bump from that 800K up to 900, 950. It doesn't often cross that 1 million mark, but Adam Cole
and I'm a huge fan. I'm a huge fan.
I'm just saying, if we're talking about drawing eyeballs, it seems that like big Adam Cole marquee things do draw eyeballs. His stuff seems to draw. Stuff that also seemed to draw in hindsight. Cody was hit or miss. Like sometimes Cody would draw, sometimes he wouldn't. If it was like Cody's going to have a promo, not so much. If Cody's going to have a match against Sammy Guevara, that would get some eyeballs. Stuff like that. It seems to be, and I'm sure they've got all these numbers at AEW, right? Like they know what's up, right? They know that they can walk their champion out there. They can walk Hangman out there, and like Hangman will pull some eyeballs, right? Especially, but they don't do a whole lot with Hangman. And I know he's a new father, but he's also the champ. And to me, I almost feel like if you're Tony Khan, you need to be like, John Moxley, you got to turn heel, and we got to put you against Hangman in a long thing where you call him out and you beat him up and he beats you up, and we got to do this thing every week. And we got to get some eyeballs on this product because you guys will draw eyeballs. But they've got John Moxley in a 3-man we're building up Wheeler Yuta who cuts his own hair kind of thing. And
in my mind, man, they can go back and forth all day though, and be a heel group or a face hook group. I mean,
and that's fine, but at the same time, like they're trying to like hang their hat on the guys, and not even the guys that they like were meant to build. Like they're not hanging their hat on the Bucks. Cody's gone. Kenny's hurt. Hangman, we saw him in Pittsburgh. We just saw him in Pittsburgh. He walked out and stared at CM Punk and then walked away.
How are you not excited that we are building up new characters and new stars, superstars even to call them, in this promotion? You could sit there and complain that, oh, well, they don't have anybody and only the people from WWE draw and blah, blah, blah. And then all we do is sit here and be like, well, he cuts his own hair.
Oh, hold on. The problem is they built up new stars. They've got a fucking champion that they built up. He's a ground level champion. This guy does not run the show. He is not the face that runs the place. He should be, okay? Hangman Adam Page is a 20-something-year-old millennial. The dude is younger than we are. He's like 29. Yes, he just had a baby. I agree. He just had a baby. But he should be the face that runs the place. He should start the show. There should be a segment with him in the middle with some kind of bullshit, whatever, blah, blah, blah. Give me a promo. And then he should be in some kind of 6-man tag at the end.
But instead, they're starting the show every single week with
a WWE coloring book that he can just
color
it by numbers with the same fucking WWE formula that we've had for years.
No, what I want is them to take the star that they've built. I want them to take them and make the show about him because he is their champion. He holds their title. He holds the belt. Therefore, that's his show. Okay.
That's
right
old
now,
school booking right there, pal.
And right now, it's not his show. It's you can forget if you were to ask anybody in the world, right? Anybody at all, even somebody who casually watches AEW, who's the AEW champion? They'd go, Jericho. No, it's not Jericho anymore. Shit. Fuck. Who is it? He's not present. They need to take their champion, and it's his show, okay? He is the champion. When Ric Flair was the champion, it was his show, okay? It was his show. When Hulk Hogan was the champion, it was his show. Triple H was the champion, his show. Stone Cold, his show. Sting, his show. Macho Man, Randy Savage, his show. If you're the champion, it's your show. When you show up for 2 seconds on the Prime show, don't say a word and just look at the guy that's maybe your next opponent, and then you get a marquee card. Oh, hey, here's our biggest pay-per-view. Here's your main event. These two have never exchanged a word. They have now. Hangman cut a promo after that that seemed to be a heel promo, I guess, but still, it's his show. It is his show. Take the champion, give the champion his show. Okay, and they're not doing that. They're not doing that with any champion.
They're giving it to CM Punk because he opens the show every single week. They even get the crowd all riled up before they go on the air. CM Punk, CM Punk, CM Punk. And this is why he's a bitter man, because he's never going to get the respect that he feels that he deserves. And that's why wrestling fans gravitate towards him, because he always shows the underdog, right? That's what
I'll say this. I hope Hangman drops the belt to CM Punk, and I hope they give the show to CM Punk. Let CM Punk run the show, okay? And let's see him carry the show. You know what? Because Hangman ain't carrying shit right now. He's not carrying the show.
I mean, if you remember correctly, we talked about this when he won the championship in the first place. And he's had a lot of great people to carry him along, but he's just not their main focus right now.
He's not their guy. He doesn't feel like the guy.
Penguins must have scored.
No, they didn't. Yes, they did.
Bullshit.
Okay, I'm behind. Yes, they did. Yes,
Fucking
they
Tanger,
did.
baby.
Anyway, so but he's not. Does he feel like the guy?
I think he thinks he's the guy.
But does he feel like to you? So Roman Reigns feels like the guy.
Oh, Roman Reigns is absolutely the guy.
Does Hangman feel like the guy?
No.
Does Hangman feel like?
I think Kyle O'Reilly feels more like the guy.
Right. I was gonna say,
than
does Kyle
fucking Adam Page does, and it's sad because I like watching Adam Page in the ring.
I do too.
I hate listening to him talk.
I don't. You know what? I don't hate listening to him talk.
Yeah,
I
he's
wish
gotten
he
better.
talk more.
Maybe they're trying to.
I wish he would talk
push
more.
up
Let him.
You know,
No, he's the champ.
does it always have to be about the? Like, I don't know. I mean, it's
Yes,
it's a different way to look at it. But
no, it's not a different way to look at it. It's
I just don't think
they
that
routinely
coincides
tell
with
us
you're
it's the
competing
most
with a direct
prestigious. It's the
company.
most prestigious belt in professional wrestling. Have they not said that ad nauseum? Am I wrong? Does it feel like? Does it feel like the most prestigious belt in professional wrestling? It doesn't even feel like the Intercontinental title.
Ooh.
So no, there have been points in time where it did not feel like the TNT title.
Ooh.
So it is. It's.
Does it at least feel like the 24/7 7-Eleven title?
It's better than that. It's markedly better than that.
We're good.
That's because that's women's title now.
That's a women's title. Yeah,
that's our Truth's title too. That's his baby.
No, it's
our
Dana
Truth
Brooks'
has made that freaking title.
Look,
they love the fact that she shows up at all those charity events with that belt strapped over her shoulder. That's the biggest fucking PR move I've ever seen.
It's Dana Brooks' title.
Life.
Look, God, I love me some Dana Brooke.
I'm glad she's finally getting a little shine, man.
She is making
our
the
Truth
best.
Is just amazing.
And look, Dana Brooke and R-Truth, I put in the same. They make the best of like the stupidest shit that they're given.
I do like that she's getting some shine, bro.
Yeah, absolutely, and I'm here for it. But that's you know, I don't know how we got on this Hangman Adam Page thing and how I got mad at him, but like,
well, because we were talking about CM Punk and Eric Bischoff, and then it led into we started to talk about CM Punk and why he felt the way that he did about Bischoff, and why you feel that he feels the way that he did because he can't draw the fucking house. And
yeah, I hate that we get off track on that one because
that was perfection. We went in the exact correct direction.
I just wish Tom wouldn't stop because I was just looking to segue into the next topic at some point, and you know, so
me.
now we're just kind of.
I think
even though Derek interrupted me, and I had a really, really fucking valid point at one point in time that would have really kept the argument going. But
look, okay. Derek showed up in Derrickhausen tonight.
He
so
did.
It's really, Derek can do no wrong tonight, and the Pens scored. So let's be fair. We're all a little off topic, but
do I have to dress up as Derrickhausen every playoff game for the rest of the series now?
I mean, if
this is the last game of the series, if they win the game.
Well, I mean, for the Stanley Cup, I'll do it.
So not for every game, but hypothetically, if it's like the Pens are up 3 games, you may have, and we have a show, you might have to.
Yeah, that.
So hypothetically,
he's back.
Yeah. Hypothetically, yes.
So hypothetically,
vis-a-vis concordedly.
So hypothetically, AEW has a video game, and it's
hypothetically
being designed by one Ukes. And the early video rendering is much worse than the early picture renderings that we've discussed already. Man, I feel like this has got disappointment written all over it. Derek, I'm gonna let you have at it, bud.
Go ahead, Derek.
I'll tell you what it has is it has Ukes written all over it, fellas. I called this in the beginning whenever they signed with Ukes. This is exactly the exact same character models we've seen. Basically, they just went in to create a character on WWE All-Stars and decided to make the most ripped, weird bicep chest that they could imagine. It looks like there's stitches between their pecs. It's the most horrible 360 design from 2011, as Tom pointed out earlier this week. And then I went to the Wikipedia to find out absolutely WWE All Stars. Sure enough, it was made in 2011. It's
Tom,
not at all going
Tom,
to be an Xbox Series X enhanced game. This is where we're at. What are we doing here?
so Tom brought this up that it looked like WWE All Stars, right? That was Tom.
Yeah, I said 2011
Well, he
called,
said
and they
2011. I said All Stars, and
They,
then
they,
Okay.
just
So,
the stars aligned.
2011 called. They want their character models back. No,
Yes.
so I knew that in 2011 WWE All Stars came out because I pre-ordered it. I remember it being 2011. Anyway, that's just it's more in my head than anything else. I loved WWE All Stars to this day. It's a little lacking in content and characters.
Yeah,
but it
great
is
game
it
for
is
its time.
for my money. It's probably the last wrestling game that I loved deeply, and I played every bit that was involved in it. That took about 2 days because there wasn't much there, but it was for my $60, I got a solid 10 hours out of it, and then I played everything there was to play with it. But my perspective on this, and we can talk about the relationships next, but my perspective on just the character models in general is that, like, so I've been playing video games for a really, really, really long time. Since I was on my 5th birthday, I got a Nintendo. And since then, I've played virtually every game that's come out since then, that was worthwhile. I mean, it may be a lot of them multiple times over. To look at the character models on this, especially, I really feel like the kind of kicker for me was really this last release where they're like, oh, here's Chris Statlander versus the Beast, or the native Beast, Nyla Rose. And it was like, oh, those don't look great. Because for women particularly, there's makeup, there's hair. For Nyla Rose, for Nyla Rose, there's a mask. Statlander has tattoos. All of that looked very late PS2, early like PS3, Xbox 360. And for those of you who are unaware of timelines, I'm talking about about 2005, 2006 sort of.
You are, but it's not that
sort of area. It's not quite that bad. It's maybe 2011. So it's about a 2011 era. Now we've had leaps and bounds since 2011. We're in 2022. This game is apparently set to release this year. I've seen games that have had debuts that looked better, a lot better actually, than these character models that they gave us, been immediately delayed indefinitely. Halo Infinite was delayed a year because it came out and people went, that doesn't look great. It looked about as good as the Xbox 360 version, or as the Xbox One version of Halo did. Maybe a touch better, but like a little bit different art style. So they delayed it because the fidelity wasn't current gen. Now, here we are in 2022. I've had a PS5 since 2020. Derek, I know you've had an Xbox Series since 2020, and now you have a PS5 as well. This is not using this generation's hardware to its fullest. In fact, it's not really even using the Xbox 360's hardware to its fullest, and that to me is concerning because they're going to ask me for $60. Money, please. Anybody ever watch Parks and Rec? Money, please. And yeah, so they're going to ask us for money. They're going to ask Derek for a lot of money. He's probably going to give them like $130.
Probably more than that.
I'm going to definitely get the Kiss Your Ass edition. I mean, that's just how it works.
Yeah. So, and I mean, from my perspective, like, I'm not going to buy that edition, or that really. I'll probably just wait, because that's what I do with wrestling games, because they devalue because they're annual releases. but it's one of those things where I don't see it blowing up in the way that the wrestling games did in the 90s, and I know that's how they're wanting to push it. But those games, for their time, especially if you look at like WWE Mayhem, not Mayhem,
It was
Mayhem.
WCW Mayhem.
WCW Mayhem. It was WWE. What was the
Unforgiven?
WCW versus NW World Tour was where it was at.
I'm just saying, all those games on the N64, those are literally the best looking games on the N64.
Okay, but so listen. So here's the thing, right? And like, I'm looking at this from my perspective, right? Like, Derek is #1 in the world in wrestling games on Xbox, right? Tom, mega video game guy, right?
I've played everything.
And then you get me down here. You get me down here, and I'm just casual little Kathy here that sometimes I like to sit down and mash some buttons, right? And I think that this is going to be the type of game that's going to harken back to those simpler times for somebody like me that can't sit down and enjoy a wrestling game because,
Well, and I mean, truth be told,
I'm kind of not good at video games.
Well, but and you've got an Xbox. This will probably run on your Xbox, and that'll be good. I think there's something to be said about that. However, there's something to be said also about the price point too, because if they're going to
friend of the show, Pat Martin, how you doing, buddy? Long time no see.
Can we bring Pat in?
Well,
can we bring Pat in?
I mean, we could bring Pat in. I mean, I have the capabilities. Pat, you want to come in? We're getting ready to talk about Sonny.
Does Pat have the cape? Can we bring Pat in for that?
We could really bring Pat in for Sonny.
That would be fantastic.
I would prefer that to anything that we're doing right now. I just want to say, look, if the gameplay is good, if the gameplay is very arcadey, a lot of wrestlers, even if their character models suck, and I can pick it up at $20 at some point, I'm down. However, at $60 full release, gripe me for. Although I hear it's already over budget, so they're probably going to hit us for 60 and then gripe us.
Yeah.
They are. Yeah. And apparently they've already pissed off Kenny Omega.
I was about to bring that up. Is Kenny's very unhappy so far with the whole production of the thing and the development of everything, which obviously he's a big wrestling fan, of course, and a video game fan, which is why he's heading up that department for AEW, the AEW games division. I really think if you're going to come out with that type of graphics engine, then your game is going to live or die in the wrestling community on the creation, the customization. Are you going to have custom titles? Are you going to have custom arenas? Are you going to have, how deep is your character creation going to be?
Oh yeah, I better be able to modify all titles to have giant dicks on them. Like that's
if that's what you want, yeah. I mean, you can't do it online. Of course, there's going to be some sort of thing there, but
whatever. Look, no, these are for my internal characters. My internal characters need to be able to
I need to beat WWE 2K22 in fun customization, making my own, everything, and putting that up online. That's going to be another thing. How easy is this to obtain online on the Xbox Live, on the PS5 network from other players? I mean, you look at WWE 2K22, I can already grab the whole AEW roster. I can grab
not only can you grab the AEW roster, good God, do they look good. Holy crap. Yeah. Some of the AEW roster members look more realistic than like some of the WWE roster members. Like it's not even close. Like for some of them, it's like, okay, so like Charlotte Flair looks okay, right? Like she's like, it looks kind of like Charlotte. I feel like for whatever reason they have a hard time like modeling Charlotte Flair. Maybe she just doesn't go. Maybe that's the problem, is she doesn't show up to like the mocap events. But like,
not to be a dick, but she's kind of a tweener though as well in wrestling sense between like a China and a Becky, where you have obviously a feminine character and kind of a in between. But the hair with the female characters is going to be one of the biggest problems.
Yeah, I mean, and I think that was really the thing that stood out to me with the Statlander and the Nyla Rose characters in the game is that like the hair looked very PS2. So I'm currently, because I've beaten everything at the moment that exists. I'm currently fucking Rangers. Anyway,
Yep.
so I've currently beaten everything that is current in the current gen. And I'm like kind of going back and playing stuff. I bought the Metal Gear Solid, so I beat all the Metal Gear Solid games on PS2 like when they came out, but that was like that wasn't online. That wasn't I don't have trophies for that. So I have the anthology now on Xbox, and it works on the Xbox One. So I'm going back through right now and redoing those. And it's very similar. Like, so I'm on Metal Gear 2, Metal Gear Solid 2 right now, right? So I beat
love
Metal Gear
2,
Solid
man.
1.
I love 2.
2's so
For
good.
as much hate as it got, I love 2.
So you play as Raiden, right? In Metal
Yeah.
Gear Solid 2, and for half of it or so. But Raiden's hair, right? Like he's got long hair, and he looks, that's it. Does it kind of
guys.
flows?
Hey.
It looks more of a blanket. What's up, buddy?
Hey, I gotta go.
got?
Derek, if you could you guys finish this out. You guys are doing fine. Just close out the show for me, all right?
Okay.
Thank you.
Done and done. So anyway, with Raiden's hair, it looks more like a cape than hair. And
Yes.
that's very much how this felt to me. Very remastered PS2. And it is what it is. So we should probably stop talking about that. We gotta talk about Sunny. What do you know about Sunny?
Let's talk about some Sunny. Yeah, okay. I figured that was going to come up at some point.
She's our thumbnail though, buddy. So
I'm not? I didn't make the thumbnail?
we didn't know.
Guest star. I got you. It happens.
Sunny.
Sunny is a trash human.
Why is she not in jail?
I guarantee you she doesn't have a boatload of money, so I'm not really certain on that. Obviously, she manslaughtered a person, which basically she was driving under the influence and has done so multiple times over the year. Was on probation, has been to prison many times. Fuck the goddamn Rangers, and
God damn it!
It's kind of it's very sad at this point. Imagine being part of the family that was affected by this, not Sunny's family, because at this point they've probably written her off as being the trash human that she is.
Well,
and
she was in the car by herself.
But being on the receiving end of that situation and seeing that she was a former, star, and there's no repercussions for this lady. Why has she been on the streets even now?
She's still tweeting.
Why?
Man? I don't know. It's a matter of like at this point, like she's killed people, right? Like not only like she's been drunk driving for like the last 10 years, like for the best part of the last 10 years, like so drunk driving gets arrested. Drunk driving gets like she hasn't been in like wrestling since 2006-ish. Am I wrong?
I don't even know if that's okay, we'll go with it. I mean,
so she was like
had to be Impact,
almost,
yeah,
no, it was Impact,
okay.
Yeah, and but how do you just like get to so as a metal fan? So Vince Neil of Motley Crue, not that I'm a Motley Crue fan or like that I consider that metal or anything like that, but Vince Neil killed a guy.
Sure.
But Vince Neil killed a guy in like the mid 80s, right? And that just got written off because, well, you're a star. But he killed a guy who was like in another metal band. And it was one of those things that was like when it happened, goddamn Rangers.
Yep.
This is going to be really hard if this keeps happening. Anyway, Louis is not.
We need
doing
Walt
so well.
back. They've scored fucking 2 since he left. This is bullshit.
Seriously, what the fuck's going on here? Is that why he left? Did he just leave to go score goals for the Rangers? But God, it's a matter of like, don't drink and drive, kids. If you drink at home, if you're gonna drink, I'm not telling you not to drink.
Yeah,
Drink at
very
home
simple.
though. Just hang out at home. Like, I want to drink. I'm gonna hang out, but I want to go out. Get a pretzel. Have a friend drive you who is gonna just eat a pretzel.
Fuck you guys. Yeah, eat
Right?
a pretzel, but like,
Right.
stay home. Just stay home. I mean, I don't know, man. We should
So-
probably move on to a different topic, but
So now I have a story because I went on Monday to a concert, right? Monday
Yeah.
to a concert.
Every time?
Oh my god, buddy. You know me, but you haven't known me long enough to know that like fucking metal is my.
Yeah,
It's
I don't
my-
know concert song. You don't know concert there.
It's
Different.
my Jesus. It's my Jesus. It's my church. It's my sanctuary.
Concerts are different times for people. Yeah.
It's my
Absolutely, I got
sanctuary. It's where I am my true self.
Yes, sir. Love it.
It is what cleanses my soul and makes me a better man. I leave a concert a better man than I went in. Anyway, so I go to Megadeth, right? On Monday. I'm not truth be told, I'm not a I've cut back as I'm drinking now. I've cut back on the booze. We are doing a very kind of like it's hockey. We're hanging out at home.
Yeah. Today's a drier show, though, honestly, because normally we're a little more heavier into that.
We are. So cutting back. It's summertime. Trying to, but so I didn't drink actually at the concert because like it's like $14 a beer, and like I'm like, really, I'm just here to rock out. Like I am here to experience and remember this. Like I may never see, like Dave Mustaine's 60 years old. I may never see this band again. Although I've seen them 5 or 6 times in my lifetime, I may never see them again. And so that's what I did. And stone cold sober, sitting there drinking Gatorades, like because it's fucking hot.
And you've got your own shit.
That's right. I texted you guys my little banister, and but no, like when you're out, like I was out by myself, right? Like my wife surprised me, like here's your 1 ticket, go hang out with your friend, and go hang out, go watch your show, and that's what I wanted. And like I'm not a rookie at going by myself, but I also don't drink when I go out by myself because it's like I feel that feels weird.
No.
Drinking alone in public,
same.
like I don't know about anybody else, but like because I also drove myself, so I walked back to my car, I drove home, I took a shower, and I went to bed sober, which is a thing I do probably 4 or 5 times a week. And it's one of those things where it's like when you get to the point to where you're like, oh, I'm hammered, maybe I should drive home. Don't do it, because that's what Tammy Sitch did. Like, so I'm sitting here in my house. I'm not leaving. I don't have socks on. I'm going to take a shower when I'm done.
Yeah.
Stay home. Don't drink and drive. You'll kill people, and people will hate you for it because fuck that. Fuck you for doing that, because I like to have a few beers. But you know what I also don't like to do? Have a few beers and drive a car.
So what exactly do you know what Tammy tweeted? Because I know Walt alluded earlier that there was a semi-disgusting tweet.
I was hoping,
but this might be something interesting there. I know she at one point was booked for a show with the Conrad network of podcasts, and that actually had to be canceled due to her going back to jail at that time. And then obviously we find her again outside of jail because this was about 2 years ago now, and you just do it again. What these people, I don't understand. Obviously, the WWE's health, doesn't extend to her. Their health,
no, I mean she
initiative they've been using.
She hasn't been a part of this for decades at this point. So I don't know what she tweeted because it's since been deleted, and from my perspective, it doesn't matter. So, man, I as somebody who saw her as,
Buddy, that was my girl back in the day.
I don't even know that I don't even know that I can say that because like I feel like her course had run by
Okay, so
that
if
time.
you've got her and you've got Sable, that's who are we going with?
Sable for sure.
No way, I've got Sunny.
Oh
all
my
day,
god,
buddy.
Sable. Sable still kind of looks like she's still married to Brock Lesnar.
Oh yeah,
She looks like an older version of herself. Like she
it's
doesn't
because
look
she's
like.
scared to look any different. Because Brock Lesnar will kill her.
See,
Have
I
you
don't
met
think
him?
that. Have you met her? Like she's apparently not. She's apparently not nice. Like she's apparently very much in control of that relationship. And
I hear
he,
you.
from all accounts, truthfully, seems to be like just a genuine nice dude that just doesn't really like people that much,
Sure.
and he kind of wants to be left alone. But like she seems to be very like in support of him, but also she's very over like that whole being Sable thing. But like when you see her, it's like, damn, Sable still looks like she keeps in shape because obviously Brock Lesnar still has a wrestling ring and a full ass like LA Fitness gym in his basement.
Absolutely.
In his fucking like out in the middle of nowhere like place. But yeah. So buddy, I think we need to talk about match of the week.
Okay, can I throw something in real quick?
Please.
So I actually was listening to a Tony Schiavone What Happened When podcast earlier today while I was mowing grass, and they were speaking about Sable and what a sweet lady she was and all that good stuff. And then they got to the point of Mark Marrow and basically saying that Mark Marrow was, he kind of had an idea that someone was on the road talking to her, kind of buddying up with her and all that. And he was going to beat the living shit out of this guy because, of course, Mark Marrow is a championship boxer in real life.
Sure.
And come to find out it was Brock Lesnar and basically said, God bless.
Oof.
Yeah. Enjoy.
I mean, so truth be told, I don't know that Mark Marrow's a great dude, although I think now he's a motivational speaker, so he's probably
absolutely. He
turned it around.
Seems like a very nice guy.
He seems
positive.
like he's gone through. He's taken his lumps, gone through his. I was a bad guy, but maybe I was wrong. And truth be told, good for him. And I would prefer, most bad guys. Like I don't want to hate anybody, right? Like I want anybody who like seems to be kind of an asshole to like realize the error of their ways and go, you know what, maybe I was an asshole, and maybe I shouldn't be this way anymore, and then be a different way. And Mark Marrow seems to have done that, so good for him. But let's talk about match of the week.
Yeah, I'm down.
Derek, go first because I already know what mine is. So go.
I'm gonna go first. This is wild. Okay,
this is wild, but Walt's not here, so I'd make the rules.
Unfortunately, I really wish Walt was here because this is gonna be one of those once in a lifetime situations. Because never in all of my years of watching wrestling, especially before Ronda returned, would I have ever said that a match involving Ronda Rousey was going to be my match of the week.
Right? It was good though. That was that's my follow-up. That's my runner-up.
That was one hell of a match at Backlash. It was they both put in the work. They both laid shit in. I will say one thing that I did, not that I'm offended by it because I don't care about curse words. No swears. But
no swears.
I truly do believe it was a little over on the bitch. Like, you're going to call her a bitch every other time that the microphone gets in your mouth. That's a small pet peeve of mine, but other than that, overall, that match was just fire. And it set up Ronda for one hell of a run where I know we were talking about it earlier, but I never really got to jump in there. I feel like she doesn't need Shayna Baszler or any other off the cuff kind of small time mid card wrestlers. I think Ronda needs big time names back to back to back on her way to Money in the Bank, on her way to SummerSlam. I think we need to build up Ronda quick with the fans. The fans are over with her, but she hasn't really proven herself. She's not done anything huge other than this.
Well,
because I wasn't impressed with the triple threat match that she won at WrestleMania. That was stupid.
no, nobody
it was a triple threat,
No, nobody was impressed with that.
No.
So on that match, and yes, I agree with you. That was a banger. That was a better match than I thought it was going to be too. And I appreciate that. Holy good God. Loved it. That was probably my second favorite match of that show. My first favorite match, though, was my match of the week. Seth Rollins versus Cody Rhodes. Yes. All right, so Seth versus Cody 2. Wow.
Yeah.
They really went for it. They went to steal the show, and I'm the guy who's down for that, right? Like when it's like, to me it doesn't matter who won. They just went to steal the show. And that was the goal, and they succeeded. That was the best match of the show. That was a 5-star match to me.
That was actually a leadoff show, right?
It did. It was the first match of the night. But like the rest of WrestleMania Backlash, which I feel like they failed out before, they gave everybody time. They were like, what were the best matches at WrestleMania? And then they put in like the main event as like the extra. And then they gave the best matches at WrestleMania. They gave them all like 20 minutes, right? Yeah. Everybody got like 15, 20 minutes. And it was like, okay, well, we're just going to have a bunch of good matches. It's going to be a work rate, like kind of a repeat, but like a work rate repeat. And I feel like that's really what WrestleMania Backlash has become, right? It's not like for the casual fans, because the casual fans just watched WrestleMania, right? And they're not ready to watch another wrestling pay-per-view 4 weeks later. But
sure,
like us fans who are like, we watch 12 pay-per-views a year. We were ready. We were ready to watch, right? And we watched, and we were rewarded. They rewarded us, the fans, who watch all of them. And truth be told, they kicked it off with what was the best match. And the callbacks, the back and forth, Seth really kind of like Cody going for his kind of bullshit Cody AEW stuff, and Seth countering it immediately, to me was kind of sort of the nail in the coffin for the match, and kind of the sweet spot. But Seth Rollins really, to me, is kind of the guy who you could put him out there with just about anybody who is moderately capable, and they could steal the show. So you could put Seth out there with almost anybody except for The Fiend at that Hell in a Cell match where they randomly turned red lights on and nobody knew, especially those two. And they were like, the fuck? And then they DQ'd him for hitting The Fiend with the comic hammer. Like that's the worst Seth match, and that's not his fault. Like that was just
no. Well, I'm sorry. Seth has turned in such a solid hand over the years. I mean, he's one of the pillars, as they would say in AEW, of WWE at this point.
Yeah,
basically, there's him, Drew, Roman. Yeah,
that's
apparently Randy. Cody's going to go on a little bit of a run.
Maybe you put Randy or Cody.
Oh yeah, Randy for sure. How about I got to throw this out there. RK Bro 420 says I just smoked your ass. That was fucking hilarious. That one makes me want to buy a T-shirt right now. You don't like that?
No. I do like it. The amount that Matt Riddle and Randy Orton have been able to get over that gimmick has just been. I mean, it's tremendous. It's like a thing where it's like when it started to happen, it was like, I like this. It's fun. And then
I hated
now
Riddle
it's like,
before it happened.
And now it's like
I'm good.
And now it's like this is the main event thing that I can't wait to watch. And it's like even if I can't watch because I've got a coach or I've got to do something, I'm like, all right, let's see what Becky do. Okay, what Randy and Matt do? Matt Riddle do? Okay, what Seth do? What did I run down the list, right? It's like what my favorite people do if I can't watch a show, and they're my favorite people, so I can't argue that. But man, Derek, we carried this. We got strong shoulders. My shoulders feel a little stronger now. Actually,
Yeah.
I
got a little
Walt,
workout in. We did well, sir.
We did well. I hope Walt's doing okay. Walt, I love you, brother. I don't know what's going
absolutely, Walter. Love you, bud.
I don't know what's going on. I hope all is well, and I hope it's good. I hope it's good stuff. But we love you, and peace and love to you. And it's all love, as Walt would say. Derek.
Yeah. So follow us on. Let's see. What is it?
There you go.
It's
Twitter.
Hold on. Audio guys, thank you so much. We see you. We love you. Thank you. Keep listening. Hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button. Video people, you're there too. Catch us every week, Monday night at 7:30.
We're here.
Is just an off week. We're here every week, 7:30 on Mondays, Eastern time. Get it when you can. If you can catch the live version, hop in here. We'll talk to you a little bit. We love it. We love that fan interaction. Other than that, you can follow us on Instagram and Twitter. It's at @1_WrestleCast. That's ONE. And it's all love.
It's all
One Fall
love.
WrestleCast.
One Fall.
Curse! No swears.
No swears. Derek, shut it off. Shut it off.